How is it going, Robo fans? Thank you guys so much. Thank you for everyone that's tuning in now, that's going to watch it later. We appreciate you guys. This is our customer live interview number 7. We are interviewing someone cool, someone local. His name is Robert Davis. I'm really excited to bring him on. He owns a company called Waveblades. They are creating custom body surfing hand paddles. I think they're also known as hand planing devices. So we'll talk a little bit about that. If any of you are body surfers out there or surfers in general, these are really cool. And he's designed and 3D printed all his prototypes and things like that. So we're going to bring him in. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them below. I'll bring him up live on the screen and we can ask him. Or feel free after this to just type some comments and I'll go and reach out to Robert if he wants to answer those. All right, let's bring him in here. I'm going to split screen it here. How's it going, Robert? Coming live from San Diego?
Well, it's doing good. I'm really excited to show you the product.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on. We've been doing these now for about a month and a half, bringing people on every single week. And it's really, it's inspiring to our audience to have people like you using the product to share your story, not only from a 3D printing perspective, but from an entrepreneurial perspective as well. So let's kind of dive into it here. I always kick it off by asking you to tell the audience who you are.
Oh, my name is Robert Davis. My business is actually, I'm an orthopedic medical massage therapist who loves body surfing. And I'm a purist body surfer. That means I like to use both hands. I don't normally like things to get in my way. I like to go underwater. I like to do spinners from one hand to another. And so having been run over by many boogie boards and surfers, I needed a better edge. Yeah. I needed to get going faster. But I didn't want to hinder my ability as a body surfer. So I started coming up with 2 paddles. And after years of being in cold water in New York, I started adding things to keep my hand warm. Like I started putting a glove on it. Then I started hydrofoiling the bottom. And eventually I had a paddle that body surfers were actually moving towards. So It's a 2-handed product so that you can spin left or spin right. And it grew over the years to something that people who boogie board like to use, people who stand up surf like to use. And it doesn't interfere with your body surfing style. I actually, first off, I could tell with the accent that you weren't from, even though you're, in sunny San Diego like us, I could tell you weren't from San Diego. So you're actually from New York. How did you get into body surfing? Well, I'm from New York, Long Beach, New York. So they call it Long Beach, New York.
Yeah, nice.
And there were just too many surfers, and and I just loved body surfing. I was a stand-up, but I became a bottom feeder. I didn't want to be a topsider. And waves are amazing on the East Coast. We get all those nor'easters that come up the coast, and you could have a month of waves, 2 months, and I lifeguarded my whole life out there. And I needed an edge. I needed to get speed going. But
you were body surfing for how long before you were before this? And I don't want to dive too quickly into the idea, but you were body surfing for how long before you're like, I need an edge. I need to design something. When did that happen?
When I started to get good, when I started to ride 5, 6, 7 foot faces, and everybody was using my bald head as a buoy marker, and running me over. And I realized I got to get some speed, but I don't want to give up the pleasure, So I started using Speedo paddles.
Okay.
Every time I put one back, it would rip off. Or if I rotated my wrists, they would rip off. Yep. So I decided to glue a 3mm glove onto a paddle.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And then
that's how all good prototypes start. No, I'm saying that's how all good prototypes start. They start with just using things you have kind of lying around and you start building it, really raw in first form. And then, they obviously go through a couple different iterations.
Oh, this has gone through hundreds until the point where we got patents now. And but I ended up gluing a glove, and then I wanted to make it more streamlined. So I started spraying it with Home Depot foam, for the walls you inject. And then I'd wait 24 hours and then start to sand it. And then I learned how to coat it with rubber glues. And, and it started to evolve. And then I had a zipper on the glove for cold water. And eventually it moved into, I needed a better, faster bottom. And I started looking at what people were designing in one handboard back in 1991, 92.
Yeah.
And there wasn't many people doing this. There was a guy named Red Wings Cleaver in Hawaii who I became friends with. And then there was the old handgun by Voight, you know?
Yeah.
And
nice.
It was like a massive weapon. It was just this huge black, you know, if it hit you, it's going to kill you.
So you have this idea, you're building your like, you know, really basic prototype starting out, using anything you find around. This is kind of how we built our first 3D printer, was just going to Home Depot, finding stuff around, sort of building it really from scratch. When did 3D printing kind of get into your life, and when did you start to design?
Well, in the last year, 2 years ago, I started getting a lot of calls about my product from people that have been using it for a few years, and I stopped making them. And they said it was time to launch the product. We want something more, you know, we want you to manufacture this. We want sizes. And I don't have much money. And so I did get my patents over at the UCSD, and Marshall School of Business helped me out with patents. And once I got my patents in place, I needed to start prototyping to work with designers in India. I was working with engineers. And to make one mold, for me, to make one size bottom, was like 200 hours of work with resin and fiberglass and toxins. And there was just no way I was going to be able to do it and make all different size bottoms to figure out what's going to be the best universal bottom I could come up with. You know, because the first product had to be sort of a middle market, you know, one size fits all, and then eventually get into many different sizes. And so,
I gotcha.
So somebody said you should try 3D printing. I knew nothing about it, started reading online all about it. And then I had such a large product that it was going to cost me about $100 to make one, you know, because it was so big. And I needed 12 or 15 and I needed different sizes, which meant I could go
test them out, right? Is that why?
Go test them out. I got to get kids using them. Right now, kids don't have a choice of what size handboard. They are just given their father's old handboard, and that's it. So I don't have any sizes for women. There's no such thing. So I had to make different sizes, and there was no way I was going to make a mold for everybody. And and the pricing was so high to make a sample, as you know, that I started thinking I got to get a machine, you know, if I'm going to do this right. And so your machine came up all the time because you have this large printing bed. Everybody else's were like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000. And I just needed to make basic parts. I didn't need the highest tech thing. And so I looked around and I found your Robo, the R1. It wasn't even the Plus. And I don't know if you want to hear this whole story, but I bought one, and I bought it used. And it didn't. And since I knew nothing about it, really how it works, I got ripped off. It was broken. It was hot wired. It was like it had all the bells and whistles. And I ended up calling up.
We've seen that happen. It's happened, like eBay selling and things like that on used models, and people kind of selling them after doing like all the tinkering on them and not leaving them in good shape. So hopefully, it's obviously now you got it working, so that's good.
Well, no, it ended up I came to your company to get it fixed. I felt like an idiot, and and I met up with Dan, and Dan over there. Dan and Mario just laughed. They just looked at this custom-made unit, and they said, "Look, we need to keep this. We're not going to give it to you back because we need to have this as an example of what never to do with our product." Right? So I
love it.
So they swapped it out.
Watching Dan and Mario. Well, Dan's in he runs our customer support team, and Mario does all of our refurbishing. So. They know obviously the products very well. They see them all the time. So,
if you had seen their face when I walked in with this thing, and how it was so tweaked out. Well, they ended up rebuilding me one, and
okay,
to support my company. And they asked
cool.
me if they could have mine in return. And I was like, let me think about it.
Yeah, take it. Yeah, take it.
So they were really nice. They showed me how to use the product. You know, they gave me support. Cool. I went home and started playing with it. And, you know, and I haven't looked back. You know, every day is a new learning experience with it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, it's like every company who makes ABS makes a different quality. Each one needs different tweaking and
it's our struggle every day.
But you know,
I mean, it's our struggle, but it's also our love for the industry because it's like such an experimental maker forward industry where people are coming out with new materials and new things to try and test and build on and hack. And so it ends up being a lot of fun, frustrating at the same time in certain ways. But at the end of the day, you learn a lot, which is good.
Yeah, I could probably now work over at your company answering the phone because you know I use them when I need them for really difficult things, but experimenting with it's a very basic, simple unit, and you start to learn there's not a lot of things when a print warps or goes bad or making slurries out of acetone and ABS to lay down, and so I'm having fun and. It's all part of my adventure of launching this product.
Yeah, I love it. It's all part of it. It's shaping it.
Yeah, working with your printer is just as important as working on my patents or working on my website or testing the product in the water because it's all part of the adventure of getting there.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. So we got you the printer. Going back to the product side, you had your idea. You're obviously like, I need to build this. Did you start sketching it out? Did you send it to freelancers? I think you said something about people in India were designing it. How did these first steps start?
I built a prototype. Okay. I have many prototypes. We have two different types. We have one that has Velcro going across. It still has the 5 fingers, and we have a full glove one.
And people that are watching. Explain how this actually works. You're putting your hand on there. I know some people haven't seen your video. I know we've posted kind of a picture on Instagram, but
all right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
You get a pair. All right, you can see them. All right, look at the bottom. It's channeled,
which allows you to pick up speed. So they're obviously like surfboards have similar channels in them, and
it has lift in the nose.
Yeah.
It has channels so that it guides it straight through the water, but it has very soft edges so that you can ride with your hands wide out. You can roll your hand backwards and you push up on both your hands. You know, you ride with both your hands, you swim freestyle. Nice. So you could swim so hard and strong. And if you're going over the falls in a wave, you can stop on a dime by putting them out.
That's cool.
And you also
I gotta try these things out.
These are your bottoms that I printed.
Yeah.
So these prototypes are made with sprayed foams and a glove glued down. And so you ride with 2 of them, or you can just put one out. But what the beauty is when you have 2, you're half your weight as opposed to putting all your weight on one. Now you're distributing your weight. You have balance because you can go from right to left. And you can dive underwater with them. You can put them down near your legs. Now, because they're connected, all you do is squeeze your hand tight, and it never can come off. So that's how the product is used.
Sweet. It looks so good for you saying they're early stage prototypes. Those look. I know you put a lot of different models, but they look great. And from looking at your videos, and we're going to post more stuff about the videos. You guys. Anyone that's watching needs to go check them out, or anyone that's going to watch it. It's pretty incredible to see. If anyone's body surfed in your life, most of us have gone to the beach and body surf, but with these devices, it takes body surfers to a whole new level. So
I sent you a link. I sent you a link to a video, and also on my website at waveblades.com. There's an old video. Right now, I'm really not updating the website. I'm just trying to launch this product. Get people wearing them, get lots of kids so we can do a big photo shoot.
Awesome. Do you have 3D models of them now? Are you at that stage where you're
I'll show you what
3D printing everything?
I'll show you what I printed from your company product and how it saved me. This is the bottom that I've printed on my machine. All right.
Oh, awesome. What material is that?
This is ABS. Now you can see the difference in sizes, right?
Yep.
This is little. This is bigger, and then look at this. This is another one. This is really big. All right. So I'm able to print up a big Samoan guy who's like 6'8", 250 pounds.
Yeah.
And then to prototype it, I glue down foam, and then after the foam, then a neoprene glove is glued down.
Nice.
And then after the glove is glued down, then it's all injected with foam and then covered with the material. And
so that base plate is going to define, the 3D printed base plate is defining the size of the hand going into the Waveblade glove.
Right. And not only that, with your printer, I can lift the lip up a little bit so that I have more lift in it, and then create a model like that in the 3D builder. Yeah. So I don't have to pay engineers $200-300 to make a tiny change, and I don't have to waste thousands of dollars to find out that it doesn't work. You know, you're using 3D Builder to for that model that you designed it in? Yeah, I had engineers scan a part, and then I can size it to any size I want in 3D Builder. I can actually make it thicker and lift it, and when I lift it, I can bend it a little, so I can change the hollowness of it, and so I can do a lot with 3D Builder, and then prototype it out, and then jump in the water and test it and see if it works. And
so you didn't have any modeling background. You got someone to scan it simply. You took the model into 3D Builder. 3D Builder, for anyone that doesn't know, it's Microsoft, right? Microsoft 3D Builder. Yeah. It's a really simple 3D modeling program, and so it allowed you to manipulate the model based on exactly how you needed it. And then once you start printing it and start adjusting it, you're kind of off to the races at that point. You can build it, test it, build a new one, test it, build a new one, test it, until you get it exactly how you want it, which is obviously a great process to have.
And it saves a fortune. Now I'm working with engineers in India, right? And so they're starting to prototype, make me a model that I can make out of foam. Because in the end, this whole thing's going to be made out of EVA foam, which is what Croc shoes are. So, so here's where your machine comes in and saved me thousands. So I gave the engineers, I said, here's a mock-up model. All right. Yep. We got to make this thing. All right. So they have to make it so that there's a recess for the hand. Yep. So they do all this engineering work. All right. And then, you know, we have to select different size hands to find a universal hand. Yep. All right. So I can print the hand on my machine that they may use, and I can go, you know what? That's too slender. You know? And so now, instead of just getting the part sent to me, $3,000, here it comes, we're done. And I'm like, wait a minute, the hand's too small. Oh, but that's the medium-sized hand in India. And I'm like, well, it's not a medium-sized hand in the United States. Yeah. And so now I can print it and go, hey, guys, this is not thick enough. And we save so much time. And then so much time and money, definitely, not having to do another round of the final prototypes of them. And I'm only dealing with, I got a couple of $1,000s to launch a product, and every penny's got to be spent properly. So now the engineers send me this first rendition, solid plastic, right? Yeah. It's got the finger holes. Oh, I put my hand in, it doesn't fit. I can say to them, hey, we got to do it over. We got to change these holes. So this would have cost me $500 to print up. Down the block at somebody's I printed it on your machine in 24 hours. I have a product, and I haven't spent $24,000 on my model, which would normally cost with engineers, you know, to come to this. Isn't it? It's incredible. I don't think we talk about this enough. I know everyone hears it, but the fact that you can sort of 3D printer is like the bootstrapping dream for a new business, right?
Like when we built it's always a funny story. When we built our first machine, we got it to start printing, and it actually printed pieces to make it work better. So like we didn't have any funding at the time either when we were building our first one for Kickstarter. And so we just had to work with what we got, and was able to use the 3D printer once we got it moving and working and printing some type of quality plastic to actually make pieces for it to make it better. And like you're going through that process. And if anyone's gone through the product development process, I mean, to do what Robert's doing right now would take years. Potentially, if you have to go through 10 different iterations and you're printing it, realizing it's too small, those finger holes, that problem alone might take months, and you were able to do it in days and save a ton of money.
Well, I might not have caught it. I might have gotten the 3D program. I might have sent it to my manufacturers in the United States, and then they would have said, "Hey, Bob, have you sized this thing properly?"
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. It's $24,000 to have a CAD program of this part made, engineered properly in Rhino or in SolidWorks. And so now I can send it back and only have spent $400 or $500, have the fingers redone, and then I print it back on your machine, and I have the demo. I mean, I have
the demo's right there. 95% savings, if not more. And obviously huge time savings means you can get your product to market quicker, which is definitely what you want, I know, and what anyone that wants to use it. Well, I mean, I want to use one of these things now. I'm really excited about it because I'm always out in the ocean. Obviously, living in San Diego, you head out to the beach as much as you can. So I definitely want to try one of these.
Well, Dan, Body Surfs, Mario, and there's another gentleman over where you are that body surfs. We're all going to have to go out now. And I know
Dan's writing on the comments section right now. He's putting a bunch of comments in that he's ready to rock it again. So
that's cool.
So you're designing Waveblades. Is this your first product you've ever built from scratch?
Yeah. This is the first product that I've ever, and I've been developing it. I don't even know, for like 15 years. I've been wearing them and having people from all over the world wear them. So I have the input of the best body surfers in the world who say, "Hey, Bob, I don't like to ride it forward. I only like to ride it backward. So can you design it with lift in the back?" And so I incorporated all of these different styles into them so that you're not forced into a handboard style, but these will work with whatever style you want. Yeah, it's
great. I mean, all the great products come from people that are embedded in the cultures of why they create the products, right? Like you are a body surfer, you love body surfing, you hang out with other body surfers, and you get input on how to develop and make it better. And what's cool is that you're using the 3D printer to actually like build this from scratch, launch the company eventually. You're almost there. I mean, we're seeing it like at the starting. I mean, you're at the final stages of it where it's getting ready to launch here, which is really, really cool. And obviously, we're proud to have people like you making incredible things on the 3D printer.
And I'll be able to outfit. I'm going to outfit Moonlight Beach lifeguards because I can print every single person's hand on this machine. I can have them come over. I can size them, and then I can print it on your machine and have something that fits them, so I get their best performance when I go to film. And when I go to film or photograph them, it will be part of their body. You know?
I forgot that. The other benefit is being able to one-off customize parts with the 3D printer. So being able to know exactly how they need it and create that piece specifically for that person is another huge advantage. So that's awesome. I mean, I think this is really, really cool. I'm excited to get out there. And some guy said, Anders said, "Good job, Braden, watching from the garage." I'm excited to get out there and put it on the screen here. I'm excited to get out there and try these. And obviously, I don't know what you're doing. This is cool. And I want to follow your journey. So
you're going to have to put your hand up and I'll have to size you.
Yeah. Size me from the screen here.
Right.
You got a visual there.
What is it? I think Dan has on his iPhone, he has a 3D scanner that he can walk around your hand. Yeah. And then I can have a model of it.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be doing some more stuff like that in the future. Dan's uncovering. Dan, who leads up our support team, he's uncovering some cool ways to scan things. And I know when you first started, you scanned a device to actually get your first 3D printed models, and that's what you're able to work with. which is really cool. So yeah, scanning I think is going to become a lot easier, especially with these devices, right? Having them in the palm of your hand and being able to scan and then recreate products can be cool.
Yeah, I have to show you this. This was what I scanned originally. Now this is made with fiberglass and resin. I don't know if you can see.
Yep.
It's just all jagged.
Yeah.
It took like 6 hours to make this and then lay it up, and it's just so toxic. But this cost me $600 to get digitally scanned, and then that's how I made, that's how I get your part.
Are you going to 3D print your first couple? Are you going to try and 3D print hundreds of these starting out just to kind of get it going, or are you going to actually go to injection molding? No. I'm going to try to print up about 50 of these. Okay.
So during the summer, I can outfit a ton of body surfers with them, and then get some great footage going from the sky, from the water, and of course, I'm going to give you a huge thank you promotional out of it.
Cool, I love it. Hey, we're going to promote you because obviously we want to follow this journey. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we live for. We talk about the world where people that have 3D printers are going to be developing the next great products, in their house, in their garage, whatever it may be. Whereas before, like the past decade, it's been, the great inventions come from, the large corporations in the world. So the ability to design and innovate and invent in your house is here. It's really cool. And because of the cost savings, obviously.
Well, I had to put your printer outside in a box because it's so loud at night when I'm sleeping that I couldn't sleep. I couldn't have it in my bedroom anymore.
Yeah.
So it's outside.
But the new ones are a lot quieter. And we actually, I don't know what version of the R1 you have, but we've actually put a lot of components on it to make it a lot quieter. But that one, the bed moves, so you do get a little bit of sound from that.
And I've grown accustomed to listening, so I know exactly when it's misprinting. It's like the slightest sound, I go, oh no, So I could hear it outside.
When I was starting the company, I used to sleep by that thing, so I know it very well. In the early days of Robo.
When it comes to having the product made, it's going to be made again as a very safe soft foam. There's no such thing as that in handboarding. Cool. It will be made out of Croc shoe foam, exact one piece, dirt cheap, but super safe. That if it hits you, it's fine. It's not
gonna affect you. Yeah.
No, and it's a special type of heated injection molding that we're going to do. But your prototypes, all of them are going to be made with your bottoms, maybe your tops, like this. I will go this far to prototype it and test it.
Cool, I love it.
And this is your. I use this coating too that I got from one of the guys over there. Told me about. There's an epoxy that fills everything.
XTC. Yeah, that's the one. I think you got it from my office. It's a coating that you can put on your print to actually mend the layers together and make it have a clear, nice, glossy finish on it.
Unbelievable.
You can get it on Amazon. It's amazing. Yeah, it's called XTC. That's anyone that's watching this. Go grab it on Amazon. It's really easy just to paintbrush onto your print and really clean it up. So. And
people say, Bob, how did you get that finish? And I'm like, I said, I don't have to buff them out or anything. I just coated it. And it just filled in all the steps perfectly. And what's really nice is some people think they're wooden bottoms because of the way the circles go.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like wood. So
cool. I love it. So where do we find Waveblades? How do we keep up with Waveblades? How do we buy them? Is that coming soon?
No, we're going to do a big crowdfunder first, like you did.
Okay, cool.
In about 6 months from now, I have made some really nice videos.
Cool.
And the next step is just get a couple of women and young men wearing them and get some new footage. And then hopefully right after the summer, I'm going to do the crowdfunder with them. And, and then the company will start up,
I love it.
So,
well, we will support the crowdfunding. We'll launch it out there, let everyone know when it's going down. We'll put a link on this YouTube video. We'll edit it once it actually goes out, and I'll do my best to help you get funded so you can take this business to the next level. So thank you.
Really exciting.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story with us. This is cool. You're an at-home inventor. You have patents on your product now. You 3D printed all the prototypes. You're 3D printing some of the ones that are going to go actual like live with all the people to actually test. And you know, the great part is you didn't have to spend an outlandish amount of money before you actually took the product to market. So that's definitely the biggest benefit of having a 3D printer at home. So I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys. You've been so much support, and you're local. You're right here, so it's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's always good. Any shout outs you want to give before we get out of here?
It was great. Yeah, thanks to Mario and Dan for really getting me going. That's
thank
really
you.
it.
We have an amazing team here, so I appreciate my team as well. You know, we're continuing to move ahead here, and hopefully with customer stories like you, more people get into 3D printing and start using and developing their own products and really bring their ideas to life. So that's the goal. So thanks a bunch for sharing it. Hopefully, if you guys have any questions that are watching this, type them in the comments below. I'll reach out to Robert. I can ask him if there's any specific questions for him, or I'll answer them. And we'll share Robert's story once he finally launches Waveblades. So stay tuned.
Cool.
All right, thanks, guys. All right.
Take it easy.
You too.